Michael, 3 points today, a good performance, and they seemed richly deserved to us.
Yeah, I thought we were excellent, particularly obviously the first 65 minutes. Totally dominant. Could have scored a lot more. Don't think they've had a shot at that point. And then when they go 3-0 down, they play. It's freedom football. You know, people think, we'll take all the positives out of the game, and we'll learn from the little bit. But when you're 3-0 down, what's the worst that can happen? You lose 4 or 5. Well, what's the matter? You've lost the game anyway. So they changed the shape and threw 5 players on. So bits that we need to learn within that. But ultimately, the first part, we end up winning the game in the first 65 minutes, which is put the game to bed. Loads of stuff that came out that we've been working on. It's been a good week on the training ground. It's easy for me to say that after a win, but they've been good on the training ground. It's getting it from the training ground to the main pitch, which is sometimes we've struggled, and whether that's habit or trust or whatever. But I think we were good value for the win. There was some really good football played today.
Like you say, other than that 2 or 3 minute spell that Bristol Rovers had after they'd scored, it was dominant and it was confident, and I think those feelings translated into the crowd as well. It felt like a performance where their trust in how we were playing grew a little bit today. I
think, I did say it before the game to the players, is we know where we're at with the supporters. We need to build and earn the trust. Because of what's happened in previous years. What's gone is gone. So we have to accept that responsibility, and performances like that, hopefully the supporters will end up coming with you. And then it gets to a point, and we're not there yet, we're nowhere near there, where when we are poor, they get you through it. But I think Bristol Rovers scored with their only shot on target. So to play 90 minutes and only have 1 shot on target probably tells you everything.
I know we've got an attitude of constant progression and wanting to get better, especially with another game on Tuesday, but do you allow yourself the chance to be happy with a performance like this? I mean, sun shining, 3 goals, almost a clean sheet. Other than Jacob Chapman did his very best, and fans are on side. It's a good afternoon at work.
Yeah, it's hard to win a game of football. Don't take them lightly. Don't toss them away. Don't disrespect them. It doesn't matter what competition. You know, they're a group of professional footballers, Bristol Rovers. They spent 2 days of their life to come up here for a game. We have to deal with the expectancy that people are going to come here. There's 20,000 here again. And it's like you look around and go, don't play many of these stadiums at this level. So the most pleasing aspect is the way we started. I thought we could have scored more in the first half, scoring a goal from a set play, which is because I think we had about 10 or 11 corners again in the first half an hour. But yeah, lots of positives, things that we can learn from, but ultimately the win's the win.
One of the biggest positives, I think, today for the supporters, but the individual as well, was Berjan's goal. It clearly meant a lot to him, the way he celebrated. He'd had one in the first half that hadn't gone his way as well. But to pick himself up and do that after working himself back into contention's a great moment for him.
Yeah, he's worked really hard for that moment. Pato does a lot of work with him. We showed him some clips this morning, just of yesterday's training. He scored in the small-sided games, but he scored 4 goals exactly the same. So again, I keep repeating it to the players, and in these types of interviews, it's like they can transfer what they do on the training pitch onto the match pitch. We'll look a better team, because some of the things that we see in training, we look a top team. But it's that adversity, it's recognising, which is probably the negative part of today. When there was a little bit of heat came, we didn't stick to what we do. They changed, so we had to change a couple of things, and we tossed the ball away a little bit too much, only for 10 minutes. But that's what I mean about the learning. But no, Bojan, he's had it hard. Talked about him in the week. I think he did press before the game, and he's settled now. He's all in. He's working really, really hard. He's had ups and downs fitness wise, and that's been the main problem. We've not been able to get him fit. But I thought the front two. It's always pleasing when you play 2 up front and they both score, and I thought they earned their goals today as well.
Callum's goal was absolutely outstanding. Not just the finish, but the build up for it to start with Jacob Chapman and Nigel's ball through. That must be really pleasing for you, that there's contributions across the field and in the attacking sense as well. Yeah,
well, the one clip we showed them at half time is people won't see is Ben Wiles' positioning. So when we're moving the ball around, Wilesley obviously played in a 10 position today. So when the ball goes out onto the left-hand side of the pitch, Wilesley could have come running across because he wants to touch, because he wants to get involved in the game. But he had the discipline to stick to the structure. Their deep line midfielder was man marking him, where we can play into the front. If Wilesley comes over, he brings his man over. That pass is never on. So that's what we're talking about, sticking to a structure, not making it about you. And what's for the benefit of the team. So no one will probably, well, they might now, but most people wouldn't have walked out the ground and go, Wilesley's position was really good for the goal. They'll talk about the pass, Jacob's pass, the football, the slip run and the finish. But that's what we're talking about. For the benefit of the team, Wilesley did what we wanted him to do, not what he wanted to do. and he deserves credit. But yeah, brilliant finish from Callum.
For you, I know you've said that we're not where you want to be yet, and I'm not sure I'd ever ask you a question of if we're as good as you want us to be, and you'll ever say yes. But how close are we? How are we progressing in your mind after a performance like that? Is it a moment for you where you go, okay, these things are working, the message is getting across now a little bit?
Well, you see that in the first hour of the game. You're not going to shift the mentality of a football club in a couple of months. You know, it takes time, and it's easy to say we need time. We do. Because the players, they're looking at you. Do they trust you? Do we trust them? And that's what I mean. It's evidence in when they do what we ask them to do. They look a really good team. And you're not going to get everything your own way. But in terms of the way they've gone about it, they've been great. It's not a conscious thing. It's not like we're going to stop doing what we ask us to do now. It's a subliminal thing. There's been a lot of change and quite a lot of defeats in the last few years. And even, they've finished the game and there's a little bit of a weird feeling, almost like it's like, we pretty much certainly won today, but the supporters were brilliant during the game. But it's having that engagement with them. Hopefully they'll see. One thing that I don't think people could question is effort in that little run of defeats that we had. It wasn't through a lack of effort. We found a way to lose some of them, and we were well beaten by Blackpool and Birmingham. There's no getting away from that. That happens. I say when you play really well, so the Bolton away, you'll have 4 or 5 of them. Don't worry about them. You'll win those games, so don't worry about them. The really poor games, the Blackpools, you have 4 or 5 of them a season. Don't worry about them. You're going to get beat. The season decides is the 36 other games. Your nip and tuck games, your Reading away, where we should win the game. Rotherham away, we should draw the game. So that's what we need to get better at, is those marginal ones. But today I thought we were good value today.
We can't rest on today too long. We've got another big game on Tuesday, a trip down to Wrexham. We'll speak specifically about them another time. But what do the next 48 hours look like in terms of preparation? Because there's not a great deal of time for you guys to get ready for that one.
No, well, that's what the beauty of the next... these 3 games that we've had 2 weeks prep, because they all play a back 3. So that's sort of landed for us a little bit. Playing 2 of the top 4. Whether they're expected to be there or not, they're in the top 4. Everyone knows the Wrexham story. You talk about relationship with supporters. Theirs is obviously unbelievable. Their supporters get them through. And I think, have they gone top today? I'm not sure. But they're in the top 2, I think. Exeter are 4th. Obviously, we watched them on Thursday night. Look a really good team. So it's a challenge. But it's rest, recuperate, prep, game, recuperate, prep, game. But we've had 10 days where we've been able to get a lot of work into them.
Excellent. Michael, congratulations on the win, and thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Ryan.